Hello and welcome to Fire Headlines, where we discuss the hottest topics in fire service news. I'm your host, Samantha Didion, and if you're tuning in to today's episode through audio only, go check out our YouTube channel or other social media platforms to be face-to-face with this week's conversation. This is a little preview of what's to come in the new Fire Headlines formatting that we hinted to in last week's episode. So this week, we're bringing our listeners a very mini episode as we prepare for the rollout of this new format. As many of our listeners probably already know, the goal with Fire Headlines is to provide insights and takeaways from subject matter experts from various backgrounds on innovative and trending topics happening in the fire service, while also providing knowledge and tips to fellow fire service leaders to better help their organizations or to provide new ideas. We're hoping to better achieve this goal through our new format, and I'm really happy to say that with this, I'll be stepping into a larger role on the podcast. And in doing so, I want our listeners to get to know me a little bit better. I might have mentioned some of this stuff before through passing conversations in previous episodes, but for anyone who might not know, I am originally from Ohio, and I moved to Oregon in 2020. Actually, I moved to Oregon exactly 4 years ago this week. I moved across the country after accepting a news position in Southern Oregon, and during that time, I covered the September 2020 wildfires that struck Southern Oregon, including the Alameda and Open Chain fires. I decided to leave the news industry and pursue a career in the fire service, where I became the Community Engagement Coordinator for a local fire department, and that is where I met Chief Bob Horton. In August of 2022, I began attending Washington State University's Global Campus to earn my master's in strategic communications while continuing to work full-time for the fire service. And I'm so excited to now bring this new knowledge into the Fire Headlines podcast to better serve our fire service leaders. So stay tuned for what's next on the Fire Headlines podcast. And as always, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you have a question for the Fire Headlines team, reach out to us at fireheadlines@wfca.com and let us know what's on your mind. We'll see you back here next week for more Fire Headlines.